transaction recovery. A transaction starts by executing a begin transaction operation and ends by executing either a commit or a rollback operation. Commit establishes a commit point, also known as a sync point, especially in older systems. A commit point thus corresponds to the successful end of a transaction and hence to a point at which the database is supposed to be in a correct state. Rollback, by contrast, rolls the database back to the start state it was in at begin transaction, which means back to the previous commit point. The phrase "the previous commit point" is still accurate even in the case of the first transaction in the program, as tacitly establishing an initial commit point. When a commit point is established, all database updates made by the executing program since the previous commit point are committed. That is, they are made permanent and guaranteed to be recorded in the database. Prior to the commit point, all such updates must be regarded as tentative only. Once committed, an update is guaranteed never to be undone. All database positioning is lost and all tuple locks are released. Database positioning here refers to the idea that at any given time an executing program will typically have addressability to certain tuples in database. Database updates are kept in buffers in main memory and not physically returned to disk until the transaction commits. That way, if the transaction terminates unsuccessfully, there will be no need to undo any disk updates. The log record for a given database update must be physically returned to the log before that update is physically returned to the database. All other log records for a given transaction must be physically returned to the log before the commit log record for the transaction is physically returned to the log. Commit processing for a given transaction must not complete until the commit log record for the transaction is physically returned to the log.